Congressman Jim Jordan sounds off about the recent allegations against former Obama-era FBI lawyer James Baker and the Mueller investigation as a whole. One America's Neil W. McCabe caught up with the Ohio lawmaker and has more from Washington.
Congressman, you released the letter that you sent to the U.S. Attorney in Connecticut dealing with James Baker. What do you really want to get from the U.S. Attorney, and what are your questions about what James Baker was up to?
Well, we want the facts. We want to know what's going on, what kind of investigation, how long has it been investigated. We just want to know what's going on. Because when you have the former chief counsel, former head counsel, general counsel at the FBI, that you learn in a deposition is actually under investigation by the Department of Justice, specifically the U.S. Attorney in Connecticut. That's pretty important because you got to remember Baker, Page, Strzok, McCabe, these were the top people at the FBI, the people who had this extreme bias, Page and Strzok and McCabe, against the president. The ones who ran the Clinton investigation, then launched and ran the Russian investigation. And now you find out two of those four individuals are under investigation. Baker, and we already know Andrew McCabe's under investigation. So that's pretty significant in light of the New York Times story last week. So we felt it was important to get a letter to Mr. Durham and see what kind of response we get back.
How would you characterize the cooperation from Lisa Page and how she's helped you understand?
Well, when she was in for her deposition, she was, I think she was willing to answer the questions and was willing to give us the kind of testimony you hope to get when you have a deposition. So we'll just see. All I know is that, the New York Times had their big story a week ago where they said, oh, blockbuster news, the FBI, top people at the FBI were thinking that the president was working with Russia. You're like, these are the same people, Strzok and Page, who had this extreme bias against the president. They said, Peter Strzok said the president should lose 100 million to zero, that we're going to stop him. So they had this bias against the president. And then the other two, as I said, Andy McCabe and Jim Baker, are under investigation by the Justice Department. So I don't know that you can put a whole lot of stock into what they may have been thinking, particularly the week where this was alleged to have all been taking place. And that is the week after Jim Comey is fired by the president on May 9th of 2017, and then 8 days later when Bob Mueller is named special counsel. Those 8 days, May 9th through May 17th of 2017, are critical because that's when all this crazy stuff was going on at the highest levels of the FBI and the Justice Department. That's also the time when it's alleged that Rod Rosenstein had talked about wearing a wire to record the commander-in-chief and was talking about invoking and implementing the 25th Amendment as a way to get the president out of office, which is crazy that they were contemplating this, but it looks like they were.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.